Hello, this is Unsealed Recollections here, and I would like to talk about another card in my series, the JANK Lab. That kind of shows what this series is about. I want to talk about Big Shield Gardna. Big Shield Gardna is one of Yugi's good old monsters that doesn't have a voice line in Duel Links for some reason, but he was one of Yugi's monsters. It showed up a lot.
Summon my Big Shield Gardna in defense mode! Summon Big Shield Gardna in defense mode. Big Shield Gardna, right now, in defense mode. I summon Big Shield Gardna in defense mode. Shield Gardna in defense mode. I summon Big Shield Gardna in defense mode. I summon Big Shield Gardna to the field in defense mode!
To get back on Big Shield Gardna, it's great perk. It is one of the few monsters that has 2600 defense. That is not a common thing for level 4 monsters. Most level 4 monsters have some kind of negative effect. Like this one, where if it gets hit for an attack and doesn't die, it gets switched to attack mode. And sometimes people think that is a weakness. But stick with me, that could be a strength. It also has a weird negate that is not in cards. Like it has like if a spell card targets it while it's face down, it will flip itself up and negate it. Like that's something that I've never heard a flip up negate, and it's like a condition that's like built in the card. It's like, it's weird. You get the trigger effect, so it just happens. It's kind of crazy. It's like, what negated it? Oh, sweet. It's kind of weird because it's a target spell card, so like anything else destroys it. Like there's only one example I can think of. It's because I use it in a deck. It's called Shield Crush. And it says target one defense mission monster and destroy it. And that'd be like the greatest counter. It's like, oh, you're trying to defend? I use my Shield Crush. It's like, sorry, my Big Shield Gardna has this ability you didn't know because it was face down. Haha. Also, the Big Shield Gardna decks really only work if you're fighting someone that just likes to battle. Like if you know those people that are just like, give me those big monsters. At this point, you're trying to either buff up Big Shield Gardna or debuff your opponent into hitting Big Shield Gardna and taking the most damage. And there's a lot of cards that you can do that for. One of them is Stronghold Guardian. Stronghold Guardian is a card that's a hand trap that when your opponent battles a monster, in this case Big Shield Gardna, give that monster 1500 defense. So now Big Shield Gardna has 4100 defense, and then boom, you're taking that. Oof. And then sometimes, if the time's right, I can equip Spike Shield with Chain. It's a trap that you can equip to a monster, and you can do that at the flip because it has a part that it gains attack. In the damage calculation, only attack buffs and debuffs are allowed to go off. So no negates, no unless maybe if you're triggering effect you can react to that. But like in the damage calculation, only attack buffs and debuffs can activate. And it has this. It gains the attack of 500 and it can matter in the damage calculation. And this card's effect is when your opponent attacks this monster, it gains the attack to its defense. So it's not much. It will be 600 because Big Shield Gardna has 100, so it's not like it's fantastic, but maybe getting a 32 could beat a Blue Eyes. Who knows? It could do that. Big Shield Gardna stops Blue Eyes White Dragon. That'll show your opponent. That's playing with style. And there's this card. This card I think works so good, and I would love to use it against an opponent. It's called Inverse Universe. I have used it against opponents, but not in the way I'm going to say. With Big Shield Gardna, when you attack it, it has to go into attack mode, and Inverse Universe switches the attack and defense of all effect monsters. So this could leave your opponent with their pants down, while my Big Shield Gardna now has 2600 attack points for no tributes. That's better than a Summoned Skull. And your opponent could have... There's a lot of monsters that have low defense that Inverse Universe could like leave them with their pants down. Inverse Universe. It's one of my favorite traps because it's like sword and shield, but as a quick play. It'd only be great if it was a quick play spell. Now this card would be best. Better sword and shield. Because the thing is, Inverse Universe, the switch is permanent. It's not just for turn. So there's other monsters I've used. There's a Mech Knight monster that has 3,000 defense that's the equivalent of like a Labyrinth Wall. Because I really like a Labyrinth Wall Millennium Shield, and I wish I could have that with synergy with this, but Inverse Universe is only effect monsters. So it's not going to work if they're playing Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Dark Magician. Those are the most common normal monster decks. Ain't going to work against that. But truly, it's just like, it's just truly just fun to see if your opponent is prepared or not prepared. It's nice to play this. It's like a relaxed deck. It's to see if your opponent's up to snuff. Like if like they say they've just played Yu-Gi-Oh! They started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And they want you to play something powerful. You don't want to just destroy them and ruin all their hopes and dreams. This is kind of a deck that's like, it's not OP in the slightest, but there is combos that can result in your death immediately. And it could be if you're unprepared. It's like, wow, what? I lost? It's just like I attacked and I lost. Because there is a card called Fairy Box, which says you can flip a coin. If you call it right, their attack is 0. If you have Stronghold of Guardian and Fairy Box, you can make their thing 0, and then now you're hitting 4,000. This will work best in Duel Links. I've never made this in Master Duel because I don't know anyone that's playing jank decks that isn't like, they don't have cards yet in Master Duel, so it doesn't feel like home to make a jank deck in Master Duel yet. But to go back on topic, the last drop I'm going to say for a debuff card is Wall of Disruption. Wall of Disruption, if your opponent attacks, you can lower their attack points permanently by 800 by how many monsters they have in their field. So if their field's full, they got 4 monsters and extra deck monsters, or if you're Master Duel and they have 6 monsters, they're losing 4,800 attack. That's crazy. And then the other way for Duel Links, it would be 3,200. But like even losing like that much attack permanently could mess up your game, especially if you have a full board. You can't go into anybody else. Like you made that mistake. You thought these monsters were powerful, and now they're little guys with less than 1,000 attack. But to make one more note, I'm going to add this on to this. There's one monster that you can make this equivalent deck style to, and it's called Stone Statue of Aztec. And it has this great effect that if your opponent's attacking you, you cannot do it the other way around, so you cannot go, oh, I got buff this guy and do it to them. Nope. It has the effect when they attack you, they take double the battle damage they normally take. It's a 2,000 defense monster, level 4. So it can surprise your opponent, especially if you buff it with Stronghold Guardian. Stronghold Guardian's effect is not once per turn in the slightest. So if you have 3 of them in your hand, you can buff that monster by 4,500 attack, and that's insane. So if they're clearly going to take a lot of damage, especially if it's doubled. That is insane. I've done it before where they take a lot of damage with Stone Statue of Aztec. And I'll post here's some of my deck lists. Here's the 2 I've done. I can do more. It's just I haven't there's no reason to cook these decks if you're not having fun with somebody else. So if you want to try to cook up a Big Shield Garden deck and verse me with it, that'd be my dream. You would make my day. It's just a casual fun time, but it's just like if 2 people have, like, I'd have to play something else. A mirror match of Big Shield Garden decks would be like the scene and be like that episode in Pokemon where the 2 Metapods are just staring at each other and hardening the whole day, and that would be the whole match. But to give my final thoughts, here's, like I said in my first one, here's this spiel I go on. Here's my final thoughts about Big Shield Gardna, Yu-Gi-Oh! Jank. I don't know, this is something that could be a minute, this could be or as long as I can talk about it on a continuous thought. But battling. Battling is the most important part of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And knowing just this aspect could make you better in like the long run. Because sometimes people play those meta decks without actually knowing these little details about the damage step and damage calculation, and not knowing you can't activate a card during damage calculation unless it's an attack buff or debuff or other things around that category. But battling, like, it gets to the point where like playing these decks are just for a fundamental challenge. Like, I'm not playing a Big Show Gardna deck being like, I'm gonna be the next king of games. Look at me, I'm Pharaoh. Oh, Yugi. Yeah, I'm Pharaoh, the king of games. Big Show Gardna's gonna get me there, because it's not. This is the reality here. Sorry. Maybe in 2004, if all these cards exist, you would be king of games. But the game has evolved tenfold, and this is truly just for the shiesty and giggles here. And it's to the point where, like, are you not trying to have fun? Like, truly, are you not trying to build decks to have fun? I guess it's like, where are you going to play these decks at? There's really no place where you can just actually have fun in Duel Links. There's no fun mode. There's no re-restricted, like, half the skills because everyone hates them. And this is the fun duels. It's just, there's ranked, and then you have to play something strong ranked, or you're getting whooped, especially if you're in Platinum. If you're in Platinum, you don't have an OP skill, because everyone plays an OP skill, even though I don't. And I just had to sit there and watch them just get all the things they ever wanted without actually earning it, pressing that yellow button. Yeah, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Like, I didn't mind it with Yubel, because Yubel sucks. And you have to, it bricks so much, even if you have the stuff to actually make a Yubel deck. And, like, that was kind of understandable. What I don't like is when they do it with Sacred Beast, because they have so many ways to summon a Sacred Beast from deck or hand, and you get the draw, you get a Pot of Greed field spell. Like, come on. Like, I know they can lose by you just popping everything. This is the field spell first and popping that and then just doing that. But, like, you got guys that have like 4,000 attack, and you can summon them by just like normal summoning a guy, and I guess it can be negated. That's the harsh truth. Sacred Beast can be negated. And so I have to have a skill to summon a Sacred Beast from deck. Can't negate my skill. That's what it is. You can't negate the skill. Come on, Duel Links has to make a skill that says no skill. The one skill that just says turn off skills. And the only thing that can maybe trigger their skill is to get a card added to their deck. They can do that. But if their skill is to be Draganic Contract, there should be a guy, should be Officer Trudge. He should have a skill that just says no skills. To get back on my original thought, it was battling. Like, these should play decks that help you learn the nitty-gritty of battle, so you can kind of implement that in every other deck you play. It's not like you have to have the same cards. You get to recognize these other cards as those cards and see the other ways of doing that, because there's a million ways to skin a cat in Yu-Gi-Oh! A million ways to destroy a monster, a million ways to send a monster, a million ways to banish a monster. At least now. There's so many ways to do so many things. Now, you shouldn't just be going, oh, this archetype does this, I should only use this archetype because it does this. Haha. So I think I wrapped up my point. I think my train of thought is falling off the trains here. And if you want to join my Discord, the Jank Lab, and play some Jank decks, I will always have Jank decks, and will always have time to play some Jank decks. Or I'll make some time. And like always, I'll put my Discord, my Jank Lab Discord in the comments. I guess I'll see you in the next Jank Lab video.